Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from Leipzig, Germany in the DreamHack Open Rocket League, the first premier event for Rocket League this year. 2017 was monumental, and this is the start of 2018, not only for a major event for Rocket League esports, but also for DreamHack. There you see the trophy on the stage that all these teams are fighting for, as well as a prize purse of $50,000. And we've already seen some amazing matches so far. A lot of the teams that are supposed to be doing well, actually playing some really awesome Rocket League. My name's Axel Toss. Welcome back to the Analyst Desk. Of course, I'm joined by Gibbs and Achieves. We'll be here all weekend long, cataloging what should be an amazing Rocket League weekend. And of course, starting things off, we saw Fnatic over the Rocketeers, and then we saw NRG with a pretty convincing 2-0 there over Envy. And now we're going to move on into watching some Flipside tactics as they're going to be facing off against Advanced Gameware to try to advance into tomorrow.
And let's not forget that this is a winner-go-home match right here. So Flipside, with Cooks here, 100% EU LAN championships, could be going home on day number 1. That's how strong this entire field is.
Yeah, and of course, Flipside now with the... I don't think handicap is the right word, but they're not playing with Mystic. And
yeah.
That was their whole plan. They were like, yes, let's go, let's get Mystic and really get UKO some really good practice versus some really good top teams. And unfortunately, Mystic comes out ill. This is Advanced Gameware. It'd be like, hey, put them down, take them out. It's a best of 3. You got that going for you.
Yeah, this is our chance.
Yeah, certainly an opportunity for them. Anything can happen in a live environment. But let's talk about this group and take a closer look. Where this is a group that involves both Flipside Tactics and Equinox. And Equinox is an awesome storyline coming into this weekend. Of course, Jacob going over and teaming up with Corrupted G and Chrome. And this is a roster that we first saw in the Team Open where not a lot of people expected it. But here they are. You know, is this a tryout? Is this a team that's going to stay together? And they're already out of the group. They were able to take down Flipside Tactics before this match, bringing Flipside Tactics to this point. So I'm really looking forward to covering Equinox at the very least tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Flipside coming off of a loss there. They have to kind of figure things out coming into this match.
It's got to be such a tough road for Flipside here. They didn't have a first-round matchup because there was only three teams in this group. They're coming in with a brand new player like in Jesse, 0 practice with this team. And Equinox, they beat this Advanced Gameware team 2-0 to start the tournament. So like Equinox coming in warm, like ready for the competition, and Flipside's like, we're just gonna play and hope for the best.
Play
so
some Rocket League.
Very tough best of 3 for them. I expect them to bounce back here though.
Yeah, you can't bet against Flipside in this regard. I mean, they're Tadpole, he's not too bad over on the Advanced Gameware side, but other than that, I mean,
you got to give them a little bit of credit though. Tadpole
can
and
beat
Diami, they took out Excel in Gfinity, what, 2 weeks ago? So they can beat these high caliber teams.
They're good, but are they good?
This could be the event where he gets turned into a frog from being a tadpole.
It's very true.
It's possible.
He might mature.
Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go to the stage here where we're going to see these players getting ready on that stage. And what an opportunity for some of these teams to actually play on the stage in front of a ton of people. But you got to imagine the pressure that might be involved with that as well, as we're getting a closer look at these two teams. And really got to emphasize here, this Flipside Tactics is not the same Flipside Tactics that most people are used to. There's one such chap named Marky Doodah, who is no longer on Flipside Tactics. And this is one of the most longest running elements of a team that has been consistent throughout Rocket League esports. Yes. Marky Doodah and Cooks here. Those are, it's a name-stay duo, but that's not there anymore. And on top of that, Mystic isn't even here. So this is just a completely different Flipside Tactics roster, except for this guy, Cooks here.
And Flipside, 2015 and 2016, the most dominant team in all of Rocket League.
Yeah.
Like, when I was playing against Cooks here plus Marquee. So that's how long these guys were playing together. And I am way too old to be playing Rocket League anymore. So,
nah.
But this all comes down to Cooks here. He's got to lead this team now. It's a brand new roster. First, you bring in Yukio, and everyone's expecting, all right, this is a major question mark coming in. But now you add in Jesse to the mix as well. This is a really tough task for Cooks, but this is really going to show his leadership. And then Advanced Gameware, they got nothing to lose here. They know everyone is counting them out, but they know they have a chance. I saw Tadpole on Twitter. He's like, all right, it's best of 3's day 1. Expect a lot of upsets. Maybe he wasn't picking his team, but here's his chance right here to get the first major upset of DreamHack.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about right at the start of the show. We were like, if there's any day where it's going to happen, it's going to be day 1. A best of 5 simply has too much room, or best of 3 has no room for error. You have a little room for error in a best of 5, and I think in a best of 3, really anything can happen.
And then on top of that, you know, there's some teams that are setting a bit of a precedent. Look at the dudes who came literally out of nowhere, to qualify through the North American qualifiers to get to this point. And then Illusion actually jumped onto the roster because one of the players couldn't make it. Guess what? They're already into day 2, already pulling off the upset. So don't think for a second that Flipside Tactics has got this in the bag. But now it's time to get into our predictions as we're getting closer and closer to getting into this next match. Chiefs, we'll start with you.
I mean, there's a couple things going in Flipside Tactics' favor. One, you have Cooks here. 2, you have Yukio, who's really garnered a bit more respect than we would have thought.
So is it Yukio or Yukio?
I think...
I thought it was Yukio, but...
I don't know. It could. We'll ask him.
We'll ask him
later.
Figure it out. With the interview, we'll grab him.
All right, tell you what. They've got Cooks here. Cooks here's why they win. Bam.
All right, I have to go Flipside as well. Watch out for Jesse. He's like a ranked warrior. He's ranked #1 right now in 2v2. He's been really grinding it out. Obviously, not a lot of team play, and he usually plays 2s and not 3s. But I expect him to have a pretty good showing here, and I expect Flipside to win.
Yeah, this would be an incredible upset. I cannot pick against Flipside right now, so I have Flipside as well. I think they're a dominant team, and this roster looks really good. I don't expect the upset to happen here, but, you know, anything can happen. I want to get some words, though, from our 2 commentators in this next match, of course. Shogun and Gregan, once again. Guys, what do you think about this matchup?
I'm really excited. I am so excited to see Tadpole, Phoenix, and Daimi for sure on stage, because they've been a bubble team, mixed up a bit in the past. Tadpole and Phoenix have been together for ages. To see them playing against Flipside is a huge honor for them and for everyone at home.
Shogun?
Well, I have to think that whilst you guys have obviously been saying, yes, Flipside is the favorite here, this is a much closer match than I think anyone will really expect. These guys, yes, they are ranked and maybe weekly warriors, but they are very close to making that transition.
Yeah, and it is a best of 3. Like, that's something we have to emphasize. So without any further ado, Gregan, Shogun, take it away, guys. Take us through this match.
Thank you very much, analyst. And I think because of being European, we've got a little bit more respect for these bubble players because we see them in ranked, destroying us on a weekly basis, and that has gained that respect. I mean, you don't get to play against them, unfortunately, Shogun.
I mean, I never lose.
Well, you don't lose at Champ 2, but when you get up to Grand Champ with myself, you get to come across players like
I would rather
Tadpole.
win my Champ 2 games, not play, lose my rank, and then just go back to winning my Champ 2 games.
Well, I can tell you, the viewers at home, watch out for Tadpole, Phoenix, and Daimi for sure. Phoenix, they didn't mention him before, but one thing I love about that player is he can do anything. He does crazy touches all the time which catch people off guard. That might be enough in this best of 3 to win a game.
Absolutely, and you can see on the side of Flipside, Cooks here, 97, the talisman, one of the best players in Europe for so long. Had a little bit of a quieter second half to 2017, but I'm sure he would like to start this one off very well indeed. And yes, whilst they do have not necessarily a roster that they would have wanted, Jesse, the step-in, literally only figured out that he was playing, I believe, 2 days ago.
Yeah,
and
indeed.
He is more than capable.
Oh yeah, for sure. He has a good LAN history. His first ever LAN, RLCS Season 1, with the Flying Dutchman, they came 4th, which exceeded a lot of people's expectations. And since then, he's done 3 Insomnia events, won every single one of them. He has been in this LAN environment. He's used to going up on stage, and it's local. So who knows what we can see from Jesse. But as I was saying earlier on, he is a ranked warrior, very adept at 2v2s. He's used to a bit of space and doing those one-off plays that can get it past 1 or 2 players in a row. But playing when there's less space in a 3v3 environment, they're going to have to rely on players like Yukio and Cooks here, who are familiar with each other, setting each other up and creating beautiful goals.
Yep, and your eyes do not deceive you. That's where Yukio's hands will be staying throughout the entirety of this match. One of the keyboard and mouse players that, whilst they died off pretty much towards the end of the RLC Pro League, they're coming back into tradition now.
Yeah, and there's another keyboard and mouse player as well as Yukio, is Fruity on Copenhagen Flames. Both very good players who are getting a lot of respect. And I think it's ever since the air roll functionality has been so vital within the game, that extra adjustment on the keyboard does allow them to still perform great aerial skills. And I think the binary nature of it compared to the continuous nature of a controller is still very functional. Like, you can control your card to the same level.
I wonder what their dead zone is on a keyboard.
Is there dead zone
I
on the
think
keyboard?
it's just on or off.
I guess it depends on the keyboard. I assume he brought his own keyboard and isn't just using the ones they have.
Yeah, probably.
So he's very familiar with his way around the keys on there. But let's go back to advanced gameware. Speaking of controllers, that's a popular choice. I think that's Phoenix or Daimi, because the Swansea City hat signifies the only Welsh player here at the competition in the middle there. That's Tadpole. But yes, the advanced gameware, they could be one of these bubble teams that we are hoping to see make a run here at DreamHack Open. If they get through to Game 2, if any of these bubble teams who haven't been featured in RLCS or Rival Series gets through to Day 2, that is a success.
Absolutely, and there is quite a few of them at this tournament. And the bubble teams is something that we as analysts have been going on for such a long time when it comes to Europe. Is yes, we've got a ridiculous amount of depth, and a lot of these teams, this is their first opportunity to really try and show it off. They have to take this opportunity, though, because Rocket League esports is not only starting now, it's going to start just running at 1,000,000 miles an hour as we head through the rest of the year. We're barely even going to stop for a second to breathe. So get results now, get that momentum going, and know that you could build towards every single tournament we have this year, because there is any time to make your name. And 2018 is probably the best time that there could ever be.
Exactly. I mean, Cooksir was unanimously the best player of 2016. That was agreed, whereas now it's getting tougher and tougher. Last year there was a lot of questions, which of the Gale Force roster was it? Which of these players in North America is the best player? It's changing so fast, and even throughout a year, a player who might not even be present at the beginning of the year is going to be that of one of the best at the end. We saw it with Fairy Peak, barely even scratching the surface at the beginning of 2017. Joined up with K-Dop, and he's now on Guess Who at this tournament, one of the best players in the tournament, and that could be the case for one of these bubble players.
Absolutely, and when it comes to most of these teams, the rules when it comes to roster changes have changed. So, therefore, teams will not change as much.
Yes.
Tournaments like this, yes, it's all good and fine to be a very good ranked player, but tournaments like this are the ones where you get to show up to people and just go, look, I am trustworthy in this sort of situation, so give me a chance and I will perform for you. And we're going to find out whether or not Advanced can perform for us. They almost start this game. They almost start this game, but they can eventually gets the goal.
Wait.
Jinx.
No, you can't say it.
I can.
I can't talk for the rest of this cast. Good luck solo casting.
You know I could. But they'll tell you what they can't do. Score those sort of goals by themselves. Every single player from Advanced is involved. And they managed to break down Flipside tactics within 10 seconds. Gregan, you may speak.
What a statement. And also, I've just noticed it's Nullman. They're subbing in for Diami. I don't know whether that was a late switch change where they always plan to do it, but Nullman is also a very good player. He plays a lot of six-mans at the higher level. And there I was saying about Finex, notably he has used Batmobile for a long time, and we are familiar with the Batmobile player. And there is the most famous, and that is Cooksir putting in a goal to level the scoreline. Flipside back in the game. Here
is Yukio, a player that you're going to be hearing a lot throughout this entire year. Great double tap from him to take it away from Advanced defenders. And that is crucial that Flipside were able to tie this game up so quickly. Remember, Advanced is probably the team that's got the most nerves on that stage. So not allowing them to settle down is the best option for Flipside.
Indeed, so an exciting start here, as we have seen. 1-1 within the first moments. But it will take the settling down of Flipside to potentially take this away, because as you mentioned, Yukio, very mechanical player, Cooksir, very mechanical player. They can create goals quite simply, but the main question is whether their rotations with Jesse in is going to work, whether they're going to be able to hold off the chaotic playstyle of these bubble teams.
Well, Advanced have managed to keep getting themselves into a very strong offensive position. Double commit might end up being a problem, but it was bouncing so awkwardly that Advanced couldn't take advantage. Options were around, but Tadpole tried to go over the top of Yukio, couldn't quite get the contact he needed. Double mistake, triple mistake, and there is Jesse with the shot. Nauman with a last-second save, but we were talking about how nerves were going to be an issue on the stage. Stuff like that does not help settle them.
Oh, for sure. And also just moments like Tadpole when he's in the midfield. He is one of the hardest hitters of the ball I've ever played with. In that situation, though, he mishit it. And it's those small little timing factors that in a different environment might not work in your favor, as a good 50-50 from Finex, almost finding the ball on the goal line.
Very impressive to beat Jesse as well, one of the best ones players we have around. There is yet another block there from Nauman. He is a one-man wrecking crew over in that corner. Keyword being the corner in that situation. There's very little room to make a play happen, especially with no boost and no momentum like Nauman had.
It's a breakaway. Jesse's alone.
Jesse has to do well, and he has. Using that Octane up against the Batmobile, so we did have an advantage. Yukio looking for the set. Cooksir, though, holding himself on the halfway line. Will now go up off the ceiling, but well read by Finex. Will set Tadpole up, and Advanced Gaming is now very safe.
So we're reaching halfway through the game. After that chaotic start of a few goals, we are starting to see both teams settle, and it's looking pretty even. I don't think this is what a lot of people would expect, seeing Flipside versus what is potentially an unknown team. I'm not going to call them unknown, because as we mentioned, they have had some notable results recently. But in this situation,
would be more notable, though. That's the big thing to mention.
Yes. This would be a huge victory, knocking out Flipside in day one.
Another long clear. Yukio wants to get there, but he will be beat by Finex. And now Jesse and Cooksir have got each other's way. Opportunity for a setup. Advance would have had many options available, but after Flipside ended up causing their own chaos, there was possibility there. 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining. Jesse with the setup. Yukio unable to make contact. Now Advanced have got their chances. The lovely touch will remove it away from Flipside's defensive side.
Oh, great pass back. As Yukio, that is very ballsy to go up to that ball in your own half alone when there is a player on the wall. You did win it out, but you've got to see those moments. That could be a chance for him to break through the final player.
Everything has definitely slowed down as we head toward the tail end of game number 1. Reminding yet again, best of 3 rules. The loser of this match will be sent home. They will be saying goodbye after such a short participation period in this tournament. Neither team wants that to be them. They're going to have to earn it, though. One tap, can't quite get there for the double. As well as Jesse being in the way. Nauman tried to take control of the ball, but couldn't quite do enough with it, as Jesse is barreling down everyone, trying to cause damage to Advance through brute force. As Cooks takes a shot, it's going to go off the crossbar. He can funnel it up, it's going to go into the net. And Advanced found flat-footed on the goal.
How did Cooksir hit this rolling ball so hard? You see both players backflipping on the goal, because they just do not expect a ball to go that high, that fast, and self-set him up for the touch. As soon as you saw him hit the backboard, you knew Cooksir was going to finish that.
One of the types of shots that was probably only available due to Cooks' car choice. Able to get more under the ball before contact was made.
Flip reset.
Jesse coming back down. He could get this, but almost a hair's length away from scoring what would have been a phenomenal goal.
I thought he had the flip reset there, in which case he would have been able to floor pinch that one as he came down towards that ball. Alas, it was not the case, as we now see Advanced Gaming forcing an opportunity. They need to make a goal quick, as they have 20 seconds left to potentially get game 1, but it looks like Flipside are going to be the one with all the pressure now in these final moments.
Yeah, they want to try and shut down not only this game, but any options that Advanced Gaming has. Off the ceiling, Nauman gonna get the pass over to Tadpole, but the save from Yukio, heads up play, still on offense, as Cooks wants to get to the corner, still players around, but Flipside Tactics will see out a late storm from Advanced, and they will close out game number 1.
You've got to be happy with that performance. In the final moments where it mattered, Flipside were able to take it. I say Flipside, Cooksir was able to take it with that solo play. But we did see Yukio looking strong in the air, which is something we're familiar with now in his few performances on the Flipside team. Jesse, in a similar fashion to how he did in the past when we used to watch him at Insomnia, he played with Scrub Killer, do you remember? Yep. And he just used to get out the way. When he's got good teammates around him, he is very capable of just moving out the way and letting them do their thing.
And I want to bring actually attention to Jesse in terms of the style that he is playing when he does have the ball. He's not being wasteful. He's getting a hold of the ball, he's taking it down, and he's forcing at least one challenge from Advanced. At the very worst, he's getting a 1-for-1 trade out of his opponents, and he's still, as one of those solid 2v2 and 1v1 players, able to control his car whilst the other person's car can go veering off anywhere, really. So very smart from Jesse to recognize what his place on that team is and to capitalize and make the most of it.
Yeah, he's using his best skill set, which is taking people out the game, and which is why he is top of that 2v2 leaderboard, because essentially in twos, if you can take a player out of the game, you create a very favorable situation for either yourself on a follow-up or your teammate. And
let's actually speak about, whilst these two players are not used to playing with each other, that sort of dynamic really helps out Yukio, because that gives him a lot of time as a 100 boost style player and a very aerial-based player to sort himself back out.
Indeed. And we are now going into game 2. Flipside 1-0 ahead against this Advanced Gaming team, trying to cause an upset. Arguably, though, Equinox was already an upset within this group, taking out Flipside earlier today. They have moved on to day 2. And now it is a chance, Flipside's last chance to continue in the tournament. And this would be a huge upset. Flipside coming in through the qualifiers as the best team Europe could offer that was not already invited, and now they are on their final chance.
But Advanced would love to try and get a goal very soon. They scored within the opening 10 seconds of game 1. So over 5 minutes now goalless, which they need to try and change as quickly as possible. Could be a chance here, but the shot too obvious for Yukio. And also too slow, going to offer Flipside a chance to move forward. They'll remove themselves from defense. Cooks here. Don't know how much boost he's got. He's got enough to try and make this difficult, though. There's Yukio putting it over to the side. No options, though, to follow up. And Advanced will be forced to defend, but no real pressure on their side.
So the first minute has passed. It's not really gone in either team's favor. But one thing to note is when you play against teams that are of a slightly lower ability than you're used to, misses and missed touches can often throw you off to the point where they're effective. Because Flipside are used to playing against some of the best teams in the world where every touch is intentional.
Tadpole misses, Jesse misses, Yukio will not. He's going to try and go all the way. The fake out as well. But players holding themselves on the goal line, waiting for any potential offense.
Just there.
Available to take it away.
That miss set up the defense in a very awkward position because they weren't ready for it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But what it will also do is it will cause Flipside to be a little bit more chaotic because they aren't sure what they're meant to be doing.
Yukio will be unchallenged. Well played actually to sit back, recognizing that Yukio was always going to be first. Advance now can take the ball. Forcing one player for one trade. Now off the backboard, the follow-up is going to be available, but it will be contested at the final second. Yukio is starting to find his feet right now. Getting faster and faster across the board. Getting many blocks, but he can't block that one. Great shot from Nauman will rocket Advance to a 1-goal lead.
Yukio with no time to react to that as Jesse attempts to block it, but that is powerfully struck at point-blank range just below the crossbar. And that is a difference now for Advance at about halfway point. They have gone a goal up once again. Can they maintain that lead, or is it going to be another Flipside return to victory?
Well, last time it was dropped somewhat quickly. This time Advance needs to try and control a lot more, and they've already lost control of the ball. Almost unnecessarily putting 2 players to the middle, but a lovely challenge will force Cooksit to go all the way back. And yet again, Tadpole unrelenting after the ball. And that's actually an open shot, but Cooksit gets there at the final second. Flipside find their backs against the wall in game number 2, and they have to find a way back out, and they have to find a way to get a goal to tie this game back up.
Yeah, there's got to be that feeling every time Flipside sees themselves behind in this game. They just think, wow, this could be a huge upset. And as long as they forget about that, I think they're going to be fine, because the mental side, performing on stage, especially for Yukio, is such a huge factor as to how well you perform. And this could be a great chance now for Yukio to prove that he can play in LAN, but as Finex comes in and puts them even further in the lead, the upset story is progressing even more.
As you said, whilst this is a great opportunity for Yukio to prove he can play on LAN, this was a chance that Finex was never going to miss.
Wow.
Yet another goal.
Tadpole almost saved it.
Almost.
Finex couldn't miss.
No, he wasn't going to miss, but it's always a different tale if your teammate decides to come in and steal your glory. But Advance
risky.
Up to a 2-goal lead. That should put them more safe with 90 seconds remaining. Now they cannot afford to hold themselves on defense, because Flipside will tear them apart if they do so. Instead, hold the offense as they previously were. Yukio's touch somewhat wasteful as Cooksit setting it up for Jesse, who is up in the air, wants to tap it down, but once again, Advance find themselves on the backboard, are ready for anything, and a bad touch will allow Advance to move themselves away and potentially score number 3.
As we are entering the final minute now, 2-goal lead is incredibly powerful at the best of times, but when there is only 1 minute remaining, it is even tougher. And at the moment, Advanced Gaming are controlling this ball beautifully. We're seeing more passes now when they are ahead.
Oh, please, don't do that to them. Advanced not only almost scored their 3rd, but it was almost a magnificent 3rd goal at that.
Yeah, they're just finding offense so much easier now. They've settled into this stage. But it's not just about this game, it's about consistency. Can they do this again? Because they've looked strong in all 3 games.
Oh, there's a shot, but yet again, Flipside, just every time they're on offense, they have one incredibly weak touch, and it leads to Advance being completely safe to get the clear. Double commit, that is not safe, especially if the double tap can come in. They will not need it. Kuxir will offer a lifeline.
13 seconds and a dream. Jesse taking it over 2 defenders who double commit, and you see Tadpole very low on boost, awkwardly having to predict the angle Cooksier could shoot, mispredicts the left side, and Cooksier sneaks it in bottom right corner. Kickoff goals are the most dangerous point of the game. The Flipside need one right now.
Oh, that's a very good touch there from Yukio. Going to transition the ball down to advanced side. Follow up from Cooksier, not quite there. Here comes Yukio yet again. It's actually going to bounce off the side. That was an incredibly good touch from Yukio, but it might not mean anything. The moment this ball touches the floor, and it will, Advanced will force game number 3. Regan, the loser is going home, and right now we have no clue who that's going to be.
We met about a week before this event, and we were talking about the teams that could potentially cause upset. This was before we knew who was in each group. And I said, watch out for these guys because they are very good Rocket League players, and they are showcasing that right now. No matter what happens, they have just proven they are able to compete with some of the best players. Historically, Cooksier, the best player in the world at one time, and they are right now showing us what they are capable of, and they are going into Game 3 against Flipside Tactics.
I really want to talk about what they changed between Games 1 and 2, because Game 1, they looked very, I want to say generic.
Reactive,
as a team. Yeah, it looked like they were trying to wait around to see what was happening. This time around, happier just to allow each player to express their own creativity. And the main thing, though, is they had players in front of the ball. They were looking around for new options, for ways to make Flipside's lives miserable. And they did so. Picked up that 2-goal lead. I feel like if they want to take Game 3, they need yet another 2-goal lead because they don't look comfortable enough on the defense.
Yeah, and the reason why we're seeing those players ahead of the ball is the aggressive nature of these players. They just look to go and challenge the ball even when they might not be able to. But if they've got 2 players behind them, why not? Because if that ball then lands in the possession of one of those 2 teammates, they can find you upfield as we have a clean start to Game 3.
Going to be early pressure. Tadpole can't quite get there after his teammate did miss. Opening minute is going to be absolutely crucial. Flipside Tactics on the offense. Taken away by Finex. But still, it was set up for Cooksier. He's hit the crossbar yet again. No follow-up from Jesse. Also try and keep the pressure going, but instead it will be Advanced being safe. They've found themselves on the defensive side to start off this game, but a lovely block will give them a reprieve.
As we see at the back and forth gameplay, Tadpole gets a goal in the first minute of the game off of a 50-50 challenge, winning that one out. Sending it towards the net. Jesse misplaying it alone and pinches it with the player. 142 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, we usually have a term for this. It's called zoom.
Blink and you miss it.
Well, Flipside, they've got plenty of time to react, but it was the worst start they could have hoped for. However, they seem to be struggling in defense. Advance needs to get rid of this ball quick. Those players will be taken out. 2 players committed off the crossbar. Just needs to be followed up. It will, but it's not on target. The next follow-up from Yukio will be a goal. Advanced yet again with a lead, looking nervy on defense.
Yeah, that was a reactive attempted save, to say the least. They should have just expected Yukio to not be able to get the angle and wait for his touch, because if they did, they could have easily cleared that one away. But there were a few good touches to clear the ball, but Flipside just kept putting good play after good play in towards the net, a little bit high sometimes, but it draws players out and allows them to shoot on a literally empty net for Yukio.
Now back into Advanced Gaming's half. They've been stuck here ever since they got the goal. Nauman just taps it straight down. That should be available for Flipside Tactics to take control of yet again. As they refuse to relent. They've seen Advanced Gaming on offense. They don't want to see it anymore. Why would you want to see it anymore? Don't give them a single opportunity as Yukio takes out one player. There's no one back, but it's not on target. Cooksier comes in and Nauman, slow playing, takes his time, gets a block, but another nervy moment for Advance as Yukio almost solo played the entire team.
Nauman did very well on low boost, but it is still the pressure of Flipside that is worrying for Advanced Gaming because they are just constantly firing towards the goal. Firing around that area means that you have to try and make a block. And if one of those goes astray, then there's going to be a shot going on net. Moments like this.
Cooksier, I think Jesse really wanted that ball. That's why he bounced you out of the way. As back into the Advanced Gaming corner. Yukio can't quite get there. Every single time Advanced are playing this right now, they're not playing for the ball, they're playing for the block.
That's a shot! That's a
shot on target! Flipside Tactics offer Advanced Gaming the lead on a silver platter.
Jesse and Cooks here, if either of them had made the touch knowing the other one was going to do it, they would have been fine, but they both go for it at the same time. Jesse takes it away from Cooks here, who arguably had the better angle.
Definitely had the better angle.
And it just gives Tadpole the easiest open. I say easy, they're very easy to miss, but he still finishes off that with a strike that was guaranteed to go home, right in the middle of the goal, hit powerfully, no one going to get back in time. And Advanced Gaming now suddenly in the driving seat as they have got that lead.
The momentum has shifted like that. No time, although double demo from Yukio and no follow-up for an incredibly long time. Almost seems like an insult to the creativity that was brought in. A shot on target, straight down the middle though. And Tadpole will get a save. Advanced Gaming are maybe on the verge of a huge victory for themselves. Cooks here, lovely ball control, but he doesn't got much boost. And that will put Advanced into a good position, and will they? As they get a last-second save.
If Advanced Gaming want to feel comfortable, they need another goal. And that fake coming out from Tadpole takes it past Cooks here, but he's still able to send that ball away. Nalman, no boost left to follow it. And this is the opportunity. Cooks here, known for his goal line saving back in the day, the ability to just keep saving shots no matter where he's positioned.
Advanced needs to avoid a double commit in offense or defense. They've been a little bit too prone to it overall. And with a minute and 30 seconds remaining, they can do this. Only one goal separating these teams. Advanced back onto the offense. Balls will bounce off the backboard. No one there. Cooks here wants to go up high. He's got it past one. Can he get it past two? But he has got a bump. There's Yukio with the flip up. Jesse can follow, but the tap straight down. Everyone knew it was going to come off the crossbar, or at least the backboard. Everyone was around to save. Seems like Cooks here is going to be more willing, though, to go solo. You can see him going much more direct with his plays.
I mean, you've just got to think from Yukio's point of view, he's been praised for being this new up-and-coming player who is incredibly talented, so much so that he gets on this team with Cooks here, who starts this final minute in style, leveling the score off that backboard.
And we mentioned it a second ago, it was going to be a double commit, if anything, that was going to lead to Advanced Gaming's downfall, and yet again it was, in a mistake very similar to the one that Flipside made. Advanced give up their third lead of this series. That has to stop happening. The good news for them, though, is that the next lead for either team may very well be the last one. This is a silver goal game now.
Exactly. As we see Yukio on the goal line. I was talking about how much pressure there is for him because he has been praised for being this new up-and-coming player who is incredibly talented, but he has not yet tested himself in this kind of environment. A pressure situation where he should win. Can he still perform at that top level? This could be the chance for him to show how good he can be as he takes the shot, scores the goal, 20 seconds left. That could be it for Flipside.
Absolutely great individual play from Yukio. Choosing, or I don't know if he chose, but either way, the ball definitely came off the side of the wall, and the defender couldn't get there in time.
Cooksir set him up. Cooksir has played a blinder this game, creating every goal either by himself or for a teammate. And this is where you go all in. Can Advanced Gaming produce a goal in these final moments?
Mistakes like that will not help them. Tadpole, lovely touch from him. It's going to be dangerous for Flipside, but a clear can happen, and two players taking it out with it, meaning that they are going to turn into options down the field, but Flipside just have to get the ball to touch the floor, and it will. What a game. Flipside take the win.
What a series. We were asking questions. Will Yukio be able to form under the pressure? But it was the stone strength of Cooksir. I don't know why stones are strong, but he's a strong player when it comes to these pressure situations. Known for being the one who gets that final goal to win in the game, but this time he sets it up for his teammate Yukio. But let's give praise to Advanced Gaming, who have had an absolutely brilliant debut performance on stage for DreamHack. Unfortunately, though, that is the last we're going to see of them at this event, but hopefully we'll see them in more, maybe the rival series.
Absolutely, I look forward to seeing them more. Flipside Tactics, they don't necessarily win their way through, they survive their group. And we will see them tomorrow after what was a ridiculous battle that they've had in the group stage. They dropped down to Equinox, they have managed to defeat Advanced. So a lot of questions heading into game number 2, but I'm sure we can find out some of our answers right now by heading over to our desk.
Thank you, Shogun and Greg and Axeltos back here at the analyst desk. much closer match than I personally expected. Flipside Tactics actually having to pull off some pretty ridiculous plays at the end of that game 3 to actually pull the match into their favor. Advanced Gameware nearly took them out, guys. Are you surprised?
Not surprised that it came down to the final minute and Flipside is down a goal. And if you chose every single player in Rocket League, I would choose Cooks here every single time. When you're down a goal with 1 minute to play, give me Cooks here, and he showed up big, scoring at 58 seconds, and then getting the pass play to win the game at 20 seconds, and that's just what Cooks does.
Yeah, involved in 5 out of 6 goals, and of course nothing bigger than that last one to set up Yukio. There we go. There we go. Yukio. So really good show overall from Cooks here, but the rest of Flipside, it felt a little bit nervous. They really, I think, had to try and deal with that on their first game on stage. Jesse, the shot placement not quite there, what we're used to seeing out of him, but they managed to bring it back together right at the end.
And speaking of the rest of Flipside, we have Jesse on standby to talk to us a little bit. Jesse, welcome to the broadcast and congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling after that next victory, after that match victory, and especially moving into tomorrow?
How am I feeling? I am feeling, I'm pretty nervous. I was nervous. That was like our first couple of games we've played together, so I was pretty nervous. Yukio was also first time on stage, and I've not been on stage for a while, so yeah, those factors play a role, but we pulled it off in the end, thanks to Cooks here being insane and Yukio also being pretty good at this game, so yeah.
All right, Jesse, though, like out of nowhere, what, a 48-hour notice for you basically to come to DreamHack? How was that whole process? Like, when did Mystic contact you to decide to play here for Flipside Tactics?
Yeah, 2 days ago he messaged me that he was sick, and I had some time, so I told him, yeah, I can play. And yesterday I drove here, and yeah, today I'm playing. So yeah, it's all really short notice, but we're trying to pull it off.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys looked pretty okay. It took you a little bit to get into it. Moving on into day number 2, though, now, I mean, you just scraped by versus Advanced Game where you fell over to Equinox. What do you expect out of day number 2? Who do you think is going to be your biggest problem?
We're just gonna try our best, and we don't have any pressure because, of course, we barely played together. So with that, we're just gonna try our best, and we'll see how it goes, no matter who we play.
All right, Jesse and Flipside Tactics, you're on to day 2. Congratulations for that. Get some practice in, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll definitely get some practice in.
You got a lot of fans rooting for you. Good luck tomorrow, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, awesome to see him in such great spirits, and what a tough match, right? You know, Advanced Gamer playing so close against Flipside Tactics and almost pulling off the victory. You got to imagine how Flipside is feeling in those later stages of that game 3. That realization, like, oh my gosh, are we going to be out? But at the same time, you just can't think that way. You just got to play the best you can be. So hopefully they can get some more practice in, I suppose, going into tomorrow. But let's take a look at some highlights from that matchup. It's such a closely contested game. And honestly, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this Advanced Gameware team because they really showed up against Flipside.
Yeah, we see right here, Jesse, the nerves coming into play. When you're nervous, you will always aim for the center part of the net because you don't want to miss that shot. We see it there, but Cooks making 2 defenders backflip, scoring an incredible goal, and he was doing everything for this team.
And then, of course, game number 2 rolls around, and this is when Advanced Gameware said, yeah, we've got some offensive chops too. Nullman, he got a great shot right over the top of the 2 defenders, and then, of course, he gets the next one later on, that, I think, 142 kph pinch in game 3. Crazy stuff.
And we see here again another double commit where that was probably Cooks' ball, but he wasn't called off, so Jesse went for it, wound up passing to the other team. But at the end of the day, we see Cooks, what a clutch goal here at 58 seconds.
Placed well.
Then gets the pass later on to Yukio to get the win, and they survive. They will play Energy tomorrow. They're in the same group as Energy, who won their group. So Flipside, they survived, but they got some tough opponents coming up. And so far, they know 1, and we'll find out 2 later on today.
And Cooks here, again, one of those names from Flipside that is synonymous with the organization. Looking forward to tomorrow, and especially based on how Cooks here played today. If he can play his game, he can really put the team on his back. But what would you guys like to see overall from Flipside if they're really going to make a deep run in this tournament?
Less double commits on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been playing Rocket League for so long now. That is the only team that I have seen double commit on defense over and over and over and over again.
But it's so weird to me because Flipside is known as like the veteran team, the team that is a team. But here, it almost feels like solo standard right now. They have 2 players brand new to this huge pressure like of a big stage with, of course, Yukio and Jesse, who hasn't been here since the first World Championship. So a completely new dynamic, but it is going to come down to Cooks, that leadership role that he's not used to. Like, he used to rely on Marky for that, and now he's got to take that over, take that torch over. And I think this, no matter what happens to Flipside, this is a great experience for Cooks for that leadership role that he's going to have to start like melding into, basically. And like Mystic at home also, feel better, man, and I hope you're rooting on your boys, and they're on today too.
Yeah, shout out to Mystic too, because I've seen him on Twitter. He's really providing a lot of support, honestly, for this Flipside Tactics teams from home, writing a lot of nice things on Twitter. So we're actually going to go to another break here. Still a lot of Rocket League coming your way today and throughout the entire weekend. You're watching the DreamHack Open live from Leipzig, Germany. Coming up next, it's going to be an elimination match. Who's going to move on to the next day and who's going to be out of the tournament? It is Secret going up against Expert. That is next on the stream here from Leipzig, Germany. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.